Yo, good morning. Welcome to another edition of XFeed. My name is the Schiller. We've been doing this since the start of January, specifically for XFeed, but otherwise we've been covering the space since the glory days of NBA Top Shot, which apparently are back. If you haven't heard, trying something a little bit different. We did the midnight stream yesterday, and today we're gonna do kind of no webcam, but we're gonna have everything zoomed in. So let me know if you guys prefer that, or if you prefer to have my face on the screen. If you think this market is fun, just wait until meme coins and BTC liquidity rotate back into quality altcoins. Best gains of a cycle tend to happen in this second leg. So, going to the title, I think everyone I know is selling their NFTs right now. And I mean, like, everyone. We're seeing the crypto moon. We're seeing people question the delivery from most of these NFT teams. Are they able to deliver stuff? Have they been able to keep up with the hype? Are they working on something that's actually special? Or are people just kind of caught up in this narrative? And this is a question many people are asking themselves. And I'm curious for yourself if you're somebody who's like, hey, I'm getting out of these things. But I mean, for anybody that's been in the space for a while, we kind of know how these trends work. And, it's been kind of, advised from a lot of people to get into coins earlier and then, play the NFT market for things that you're excited about. But what do these NFTs offer that make you want to get into them? But meme coins, absolutely flying. Going to get more into that in just a momento. Do we remember back when athletes asked for their paycheck in Bitcoin? Russell Okun spoke it into existence. Okun received half of $13 million paycheck in Bitcoin. I think Odell Beckham Jr. was another one of that, and I remember the clown fest that happened from the media in terms of, oh, Bitcoin's down, this person should have just taken US dollars, they're awful, or in terms of like they're dumb, they shouldn't have done that. But now, where we are, people are like, nice, good call. And speaking of good calls, we got Bosch.
7 months is $35. So about half of one gas transaction.
That's disgusting and true. So here's the other thing. Is even to do anything within the NFT realm right now, you have to pay like $40 to $70 to transfer, to trade, to list, to accept a WETH offer. It's almost dead in the water. So all these L2s are out, and people are like, oh my God, the L2s. And people are putting liquidity into there. But what is there to buy on these new L2s with almost nothing going on? Meme coins, these other things, some kind of yield opportunities. It's interesting just to see the fallout from it all. Blockchain network fees will eventually be treated the same way as server costs, paid for by apps on behalf of their users. Invisible, a cost of doing business, not something anyone thinks about except back end devs. And so, when we go through the arguments of what's the value prop to blockchain, I would argue this is potentially one of them, right? One of the most important lessons I learned as an NFT trader and flipper, you must respect the cycles, as we see everybody completely losing their mind on the timeline. You cannot force when NFTs will do well. You cannot force liquidity to flow back, and you can't profit in the wrong cycle. When it's meme coin season or farming season, just sit patiently and wait. You don't need to play the other cycles if you don't want to, but don't get anxious and play what you do out of cycle. Right now, it's not NFT cycle. And this is, I mean, I keep talking about, like, I'm just kind of like sitting still, I'm watching stuff, I'm excited as hell to see people doing well, but this is just kind of the market fluctuation. And I tried to highlight in some of my YouTube analytics the other day is like, whatever people care about, whatever the narrative, whatever, catches the trend is going to be what people talk about. Now, haven't seen this headline in a minute. Breaking: Australia's biggest bank, the Commonwealth Bank, is limiting monthly Bitcoin purchases. Your recent payment to a crypto exchange has been declined because you have exceeded the monthly cryptocurrency limit. Combank has introduced these limits to help protect you from fraud and scams. The payment limit applies across all of your accounts for the calendar month and resets each month. Now, this is something that already exists within Canada. Now, I think for Canada, they have like a cap that you're only able to buy like $20,000 to $30,000 of something that's not like Bitcoin, ETH, Bitcoin Cash, and like some other thing. There's 4 coins that they're like, it's whatever. You don't have a limit, but for these other ones, it's different. But obviously, that's only within the centralized exchanges because DeFi, obviously, it's a little bit different. Bosch, counter argument is BTC NFTs are crushing. True. Okay, so that's a great question or point, I should say, and maybe we can kind of get into this in a second. I don't know if the next thing Damn, this isn't the tweet to talk about ordinals. But the thing with ordinals right now is I'm seeing collection after collection that did something elsewhere on ETH that already has an existence, and they're trying to launch a Bitcoin ordinals project. So, number one, do you actually like what these teams have accomplished? Are you just buying because it's ordinals and you hope there's enough people that are wanting to buy and, you know, get into it? What happened to people clamoring for we want our NFTs to do anything? We switched back to, oh, it's fine if it's just art. This is cool. This is Providence. It's Bitcoin. This market's going to go ham. It absolutely can. I'm just saying it's interesting that we're having kind of these notions that are completely the opposite of what everybody was clamoring for recently. Good morning. As you age, particularly beyond 50, grappling with health issues, financial concerns, or other challenges, the greatest risk is losing the drive to affect change in the world. This phase offers clarity, an unfiltered view of reality, and the prime opportunity to make a significant impact. Don't lose sight of that. Keep fighting. Thought that's just kind of, your feel-good tweet of the day. But, are we making change? Are we trying to educate people about the future? That's what I'm trying to do. I ain't 50, though. Listen, we're ways off from that. Now, Ink on BTC founder here is quoting Ding-a-ling, saying, make holders rich and they become your strongest supporters. I like how this is the narrative for everything within NFTs, is you make people money and they'll help you do stuff, which, I mean, to an extent, if you look at everything that's going on with Yuga Labs right now, and we're going to go in a huge section about Yuga because the past days have been absolutely unreal with the market volatility. But it's an interesting sentiment here. And I think a lot of people are like, yeah, I'd be down with that, but how exactly do you do that? Biggest lesson from ETH Denver. Most crypto people used to be generalists, which I agree with. We're entering the age of specialists. There are more projects across different categories than ever. Pick the category when you have the most edge and absolutely go for it. Now, when I first read this, I kind of thought about more of the people, right? When you have these conversations within your daily calls, you're mentioning things on Discords, it feels like people are, I don't even follow this guy. Whoops. It feels like everybody's getting smarter, more aware, more in tune. There is niche things that are coming out that you can kind of, pay attention to. I was really big on decentralized insurance like a while ago. Obviously that hasn't taken mainstream, and that was not a great decision, but maybe one day that aspect will come out and people, everybody's trying to learn about different ecosystems and how quickly can they get onboarded. Well, just talk to a specialist. Ordinals creators not giving an F about royalties, and no one cares. ETH NFT creators spend more time trying to collect royalties than provide value to their holders. Goes back to our original point here of everybody, holding NFTs, that have they truly believed that there's been some kind of reason to hold them other than, the community access, just the joy of it, right? Like, I don't know. I just find it weird that we have this like huge conundrum of people being like, I don't like ETH NFTs, when like half of them again haven't really done a whole lot, and like that it makes sense, right? Like, why would you not go to ordinals where people just only care about the art aspect and the fact that it's on Bitcoin? But one of the main things that new people getting into the space really care about is the gains. The gains. We're not talking about Jim. We're talking about the fat stack of cash or crypto. The $27 Pepe wallet is now 16.7 million. So you see these stories, people hear about it, and they're like, should we get into the market? This person only put $27 into something and walked away with 16.7 million. Well, that doesn't account for all the people that got into some other thing that didn't work out, that's, speculated on this thing, hasn't done their own research, saw a TikTok video, saw a YouTube video, again, didn't do their own research, looked into things, something, and sometimes things aren't on the trajectory to do amazing, and then all of a sudden it fails miserably for reasons completely out of their control. At current ETH price, they paid $45, which is now 16.7 million, and they paid $33 in gas, which would be $12.5 million worth of Pepe at that price. Why do people mess around with meme coins? Because they missed some of those big ones, and they think that there's a chance at another one hitting that. And that's why it's all about psychology. Now, do you know about Axie Infinity? Do you care about Axie Infinity? Have you been paying attention to what Ronin has been doing at all? Did you partake in the Pixels Online Play to Airdrop campaign? G Ho is the founder of Axie Infinity, highlighting that there is 314,000 daily active users. Seed planting DAU just hit an all-time high. Ronin is anti-fragile. Ronin is both the birthplace and gateway into crypto gaming. Ronin will be the king of gaming chains. A lot of people don't do anything on Ronin. A lot of people, right? Something to watch, though. If this is Axie Infinity 2.0, and you're sitting there like, yeah, I kind of got an Axie Infinity, but it was a bit later. Why are you ignoring pixels? Because nothing happened with that? What's the reason? And I'm in that boat. I mean, I think I have a Rodin wallet somewhere and have it installed right now, but I got an Axie Infinity. But why, as you know, I'm trying to be self-aware here. Why haven't I looked into pixels online more? I don't know, but I feel like it's staring me right in the face. Bitcoin is at 1.235 trillion. We passed Berkshire Hathaway last month. We'll pass Meta this week. Google by the halving. So 1.2 trillion. So that puts Bitcoin right here in the largest American companies by market capitalization. So crypto is still not even in the top 5 for companies. And how much is being built on this while we're saying that blockchain is the internet of value? Ethereum apparently, before its recent run, had the same market cap as Home Friggin' Depot. Yeah. You want to buy out all the Home Depots, or do you want to buy the entirety of Ethereum? I obviously that's a really weird comparison and stretch within those terms, but it's something that'll make you think. 4,500 ETH bid placed, 4,500 ETH bid accepted, $16 million sale, the second largest on-chain punk sale ever. So there's a little bit of a backstory here. I don't know if this is the next tweet. Damn it. Well, somewhere in here. So we're going to go over it again, but I'll try to go off memory. So from my understanding, Tiffany & Co., the jewelry company, did CryptoPunk pendants. And we saw one, I guess it was like the son of the owner, CEO, whatever, founder, was posting about, hey, like, buy this. I'm trying to sell it, but it'll be worth it. And I guess it came with like the original one of one Tiffany pendant from one of the punks, because it went way, 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 way over floor, and everybody was like, what the hell? But now there's all this rumors that he was the buyer of this, and there might be some kind of a, further collab between Yuga and Tiffany & Co. Holy shiza. Say NFTs are coming to Magic Eden. This is huge. Now, it's technically incorrect from my understanding. People have highlighted that this orange thing isn't trying to say that Say is going to Magic Eden. It's trying to say that Saiyans is launching an Ordinals project, as we're seeing a whole bunch of other collections doing the same. So I ask once again, do you believe that Saiyans has done something that's worth the value other than just launching a collection on Ordinals? Is this all about art? Just for perspective, adding that in there. Creating new utility for ape. Secure this Grail gold fur for 2.5 million ape. And this looks ridiculous because when you see they're asking $6.2 million, obviously, nobody's going to end up paying that high of a price when there's ones that are definitely significantly cheaper than that. But the reason why I'm wanting to bring this up is, how does the markets look when things are priced within specific coins that people have? And we have the argument of, okay, if you have 2.5 million ape, you could just put it in Uniswap and there's all those fees. And I mean, even if you bought the ape on that, there's all these fees. But still, when you have a currency and you can decide what you want to pay with, right? You use a MasterCard on certain sites. If it gets rejected, trying to make like a bank transfer, it gets rejected. Well, you don't have the right form of payment. Well, if you do, does more opportunities end up opening up? How does it look when everything is tokenized? This is crazy. This is, Sano W. How much are Ryan Carson's ordinal punks worth right now? If you don't know, Ryan Carson was somebody who was very much involved with Proof and Moonbirds when it first happened. Within the first week, he left, started a fund, got all of these different things that were going on within the space, and then there was all this drama of like, oh, he's an extractor, and just, things happen. And then he makes this trade of buying all these Bitcoin punks, like for hundreds of thousands of dollars. And everyone's like, man, this guy just fleeced everybody that invested in him. Just absolutely fleeced. But now, with the ordinals popping off, The guy looks like a genius. It's crazy. Yo, X quiz, no face. Yes, please, face. Okay, yo, noted. I'll set it up for next time. I have like a side camera, but I appreciate that. And yeah, guys, again, let me know if you prefer the face, if you prefer kind of the zoomed in look here. I have it kind of set up where like both views will kind of be zoomed in here, but trying to nail the setting for this. We now have a massive $30,000 NBA Top Shot sale. We are so back. A legendary LeBron James The Block moment with a perfect serial match 23-23 was purchased for $30,000 yesterday by NBL. And apparently there's been more buys of LeBron and S1s. Is the Top Shot market coming back? So this was a tweet where CryptoPunks highlighted this kind of like alien colors per se. And then the reply here was partnership with Tiffany and Alexandra will reveal he is the alien buyer. So this is where kind of like the rumors and stuff was going on with such a big sale, this and that, the thing before, and it's getting the attention. Okay. BYC. It's been crazy. Watching BYC fall to 19 ETH floor is still mind-blowing. I remember at 60 ETH floor, I said if they go below 50, I have to buy. I didn't. Same when they fell under 40 and 30. Where is the end to this fall? I always thought if they got this low, I couldn't resist buying. But, and Dido saying at these prices, at least the cost is more aligned with the typical annual membership at a decent physical club, right? And the club is coming. All right. So when we look at the value prop, right, and we're trying to argue this, so people are showing you whatever they're interested in right now, right? Same thing before where, 60 ETH, these are amazing. Apes before we're at, upwards of 150, right? Now, obviously, nobody can tell the future and things fluctuate massively, but you have to go into, okay, what is the staking yield? What is the game access that it's going to give you? What are the extra? What's the reasons for that? There's very few collections that I think on a grander scale, apart from some of the art ones like Fidenzas, etc., that people are going to be like, yeah, this makes sense, unless it's your digital identity. But again, people are kind of poking holes in that and being like, okay, and I switch back to my face on this. Yo, that's me. That's crazy. Every time you see something that goes on in the space, I'm just pretend that's my reaction to it. Right? I'm trying out the face. What are we at? We're at 22,716 for followers. You go to followers, and it's all these accounts with just like a name and then a number after it, a name and a number. Half of them are all bots, but still, are people going to go back with the fact that we're all going in this AI realm? We're trying to show the human element, and everybody wants to see the human face, and the digital identity is actually second. Yo, that's crazy. Yo, Pitch Dark, what's going on, my homie? This guy is unbelievable. Did you know that Pitch Dark orders Papa John's every single day? Unbelievable. Bitcoin breaking all-time highs will be the best marketing campaign ever for our sector and asset class. No other early industry allows for such broad-based participation, and its upside typically limited to insiders only. It's time to seize the day and make something real out of crypto. Big time this. So Kevin O'Leary, I remember him having a quote back when he was doing his media rounds before the FTX blowout, and he was saying that crypto is going to be like the next sector of the world. And I really agreed with it at the time, because I was like, okay, we're seeing all these things come out, and I mean, what's, again, the best marketing campaign? Price is law. And everybody's suddenly like, whoa, this is going up. And we have the same arguments now where, you talk to some people and they're like, it's the top sellout. These are cycles. And it's like, you do realize we haven't moved for like 2 years. We've been like, yeah, this stuff's going to come back. We've had unbelievable amounts of crypto collapses from FTX to Three Arrows Capital to you name it, right? All these things that were extracting liquidity from the NFT space that ended up not panning out. Some things still working, but obviously, the values that they were aren't the values of today in a lot of cases. I don't know. I just listen all the time being more in the space. I'm feeling bullish, baby. Yo, Tarzan, how do we know it's not an AI talking right now? That's a great question, and I can't really prove that because my camera is not on. But I can switch to this and show. Ta-da! I can switch it. I think April through summer will be NFT banging you stud. Hell yeah, I am. Hell yeah, dude. I don't hate the shakaroni. I'm just saying it's just a pepperoni pizza. Okay, listen, when you go to the shakaroni is different. It is a large pizza dough that is spread out, XL size. It's double pepped. It's extra cheese, and it's fantastic. Respectfully, respectfully. The time has come. Cyberkongs are coming home to Ronin Network. So I have a weird perspective here. Weird perspective. So I owned a Genesis Cyberkong. I was giving at a point like $1,000 a day worth of banana token. Unbelievable. Absolutely should have sold the top. We didn't, but Cyberkongs have been iterating, have been around since pretty much the very beginning, and had a lot of, I guess, cool features, but I feel like it's still not really looked at or desired by many people. And so the question that I have with this, or I guess the perspective is, at the time, the banana tokens utility was that you could breed and create a Genesis baby that had a limited supply, and some of them were a chance at a legendary. So, spend $1,000 if you get a legendary. Listen, we can sell that for 20 to 30K plus. That's crazy. But that was pretty much the only utility. And the other thing was they were hyping up Sandbox, and it was supposed to be kind of one of the main players on that. Now, Sandbox took forever. That kind of went to the wayside. But now, Cyberkongs are supposedly this huge part of Ronin Network, and the vision got that much bigger. We're seeing, after a huge downfall of everything, prices roaring again, people are excited about things, and there's iterating across the board. And it just makes you think, like, okay, for these hype cycles that we had of what was, from the craziness that it was to when banana was at like $1, so again, from $100 to $1, it's insane. People are starting to pay attention and getting excited again. Before, the hype was just unsustainable and there was nothing to be able to do with your assets. That is changing. Everybody's launching assets, but not everybody's working on a place to put them. And that's kind of where I've been paying attention a lot. So Yuga, they've been working on some things with Far Away here, and it looks like the full release of Legends of Mara is going to be this looks like a mobile game, but maybe it's also being able to be played on PC. And I don't know where, I don't know if it's in this tweet, but somebody was saying that like some of these photos or I guess screen caps were like old ones that aren't actually true. You know what I mean? Like, it's crazy. It's crazy. Ape's still at 66K. I think they hit 40K over the summer. They're still up in dollar terms, just not in ETH. That's another perspective too, with the ETH kind of move there. It's weird. Now, we're talking about people trying to create something where these assets live. Epic Games Store launched in 2018. Today, Futureverse quietly released their game launcher. Who knows where this Futureverse journey will go? Slow at first, then all at once. Just another post to add to the story to look back on. So, they launched a launcher, which is kind of neat, and it shows, hey, what does it look like if we have a specific launcher for Web3 based games? Are people going to care about it? Maybe, maybe not. But I think that's a really cool addition nonetheless. The market caps of some of these meme coins are insane. They truly are. And what's the reason for that? Well, why would you put your funds into anything else unless you find and educate yourself about yield, things that are going to be potentially sustainable, or just finding stuff within the space that you want to get, other than just seeing number go up? Because at a point, people are like, "Oh, here's something that I want to get." Breaking: ETH flips MasterCard in market cap. Seeing crypto starting to move a little bit, overtaking some of these companies. Kind of crazy. Perspective again. Wondering where Yuga Gaming would be if the golden key sold for $10,000 instead of $1 million. I think there was a lot of extra hype that was kind of put on everything Yuga related when that one heavy metal went for $1 million, and you had like a esport gamer that was getting all the headlines of, hey, they made $1 million. Is it good that it went for $1 million? Is it bad that it went for $1 million? Just for perspective. I don't really have an opinion on it, but just is interesting. This is juice. This is dirt. This is crazy. Coinbase has failed for the third time this week. What? If you're wondering why Coinbase continues to go down but Binance doesn't, I have the answer for you. Remember when I told you that every single one of Coinbase's public exchange addresses over the last 4 years were set up and originally funded by Binance and not Coinbase? Coinbase is nothing more than a shell exchange to access American consumers by the Chinese-controlled Binance. They get the crumbs, and in times, the high volume and volatility. At Brian Armstrong plays the role of a blank, his favorite role, I might add. This guy absolutely hates Coinbase. That's crazy. But that is kind of weird if this is actually like a secretly Chinese company from behind the scenes. But a lot of people are questioning certain things, right? You have these people that will launch these theories. Is it real? Is it accurate? Whatever. I just thought that story is kind of crazy if it ends up being true. Tweet referencing meme coins on a new chain with billions of liquidity with nothing to buy. Truly. As these products come out, I feel like things change just a little bit. I still think playing ETH into the ETH ETF is probably the easiest play of this cycle. ETH BTC pair ranging currently, but once a date is set for the ETF, ETH rallies. And post ETF, there is no entity that has grayscale size force selling like BTC did, and we have boomer yield. So I think this is a relatively fair point. There was some questions about the ETF when it first launched, and now everybody's like, nope, a lot of people are wanting to put a hell of a lot within the space right now. And if that happens with ETH, because that's next in line, and for anybody that doesn't really like ETH or whatever, I mean, you can trade this out for whatever token that was basically in second place, right? Like if it was Sol, XRP, BNB, whatever. Do we see ETFs for everything? Do we see ETFs for everything? Get to that in a second. Raoul Paul with another take on the timeline. TradeFi fades the biggest macro trend of all time in the best performing asset class of all time in the shortest period of time. And still they don't realize that the drawdowns are what creates the ludicrous opportunities, and that all it takes is to buy and hold on longer term horizons and compound the insane returns by adding into cyclical bear markets. Being a moron is a benefit. Excuse me, did Raoul Paul just call us a moron? Guys, just freaking ridiculous. Mid-curving, it is your enemy. And still they don't understand that on a risk-adjusted basis, this is literally an alien asset class that doesn't even fit on any traditional risk-reward metric, as it is so skewed to the upside. And still, they don't understand that in a world where all assets are literally 100% correlated due to the everything code with measurable leads and lags, you only have to own the best performing asset with the best risk-adjusted returns. Diversification doesn't pay in this new world. Now, again, this is just like a personal take, and a lot of people have always kind of said to me like, oh, you need to diversify everything. You got to get this and that. And the other thing, it's like, I don't know. When I look back at like some of like my most concentrated bets, they were by far and away the biggest winners. And still they produce charts of the tulip bubble every single effing cycle, and they will be wrong, again, because they can't understand a secular trend. And yes, we also fully understand that there is no mania like cryptomania, and we embrace it. We also know that when it goes down 75% plus, we fully understand that it is the most reflexive asset on Earth on the upside and the downside. I think this thing is like, I don't understand. When you try to talk to people about this and they're like, okay, take profit, sell the top, or maybe not sell the top, but it's always about this kind of thing of like, not understanding how things work. And after I've been in the space for 3 years. You guys have been in it probably a lot longer, right? Like I saw somebody on Twitter the other day saying they were in it for like 8 years, 10 years. There's people with a hell of a lot, right? But I'm talking like when I first got into the space, everything was ripping, right? And I was like, wow, what friggin' timing? what timing do I have for this? And then you live through the cycle of it's over, it's awful. You try to bring it up with anybody, they're like, you up, you down. You're like, yeah, not that great. And then suddenly, as things start going fantastically, you're like, all right, no, listen, you got to get fully out of that thing. On the first sign of life, it's crazy. Listen, things are just starting to pick up. Now, as an example of this, this is now the biggest punk loan of all time. $10 million for a group of 60 CryptoPunks, financed by 5,000 individual lenders across 2 risk tiers. MetaStreet unlocking new possibilities for NFT lending and pushing the broader NFT-fi space forward. People are getting leveraged on everything. The financial tools, the ability to get capital. It's changing at a rapid pace, and people are down. They're starting to get on board. They're seeing things. There's all these marketing dollars. Think of all the Web3 companies that raised $100 million plus, and we've still not seen fully blown marketing campaigns, world tours, whatever you want to call. I mean, maybe a lot of them don't have the cash anymore, but think about the liquidity and the VC capital that's just sitting there that is ready for these big play. And maybe this, they're saying 5,000 individuals. Maybe it's a whole bunch of VCs and they're just faking the numbers, right? Right? I don't think so, but the capital flowing is insane. So why does nobody care that Ordinal's indexer is hosted off-chain and run by 2 people? Okay, listen, we got FUD on the timeline. Look, the BRC implementation for ordinals and inscriptions has been relying on off-chain data. Once Runic and BCRC 20 standard is implacable of the BRC 20 in the incoming months, it eliminates all the problems with off-chain. Will be completely stored on-chain. Yeah, I don't know what the hell that means, but apparently they're going to fix whatever that is. So avoid the FUD or sell on the FUD. I mean, you do you, baby. You do you. This looks great. I heard a lot of great things about Serum City, but haven't had a chance to play it yet. And so again, these are just a couple more photos of what it looks like for the Legends of Mara. Gameplay, again, looks pretty decent and very much like what Serum City is having. Now, the confusing part with this is we're seeing more and more kind of communication errors, I guess, on the part of Yuga. So yesterday, Yuga teased their next game. Is this AI generated? And so Alex, who is co-founder of Faraway, says, to be honest, I have no idea why this UI was shared. It is not reflective of the game at all and was a super fast concept we did before dev even started. As you've seen in later screenshots, the game is portrait, not landscape, so again, I have no idea why this UI was shared. So how the hell does this image get shared when it's no longer even a thing? Like, that seems like an unbelievable communication failure between 2 companies that are working together on a big scale. Hey, yeah, we're sharing the first iteration of something that's not even what we're doing and completely like, okay, who approved it? What? Could someone from Yuga Labs explain what is expected from the council members? Is the council another voice representing the users? Are they just glorified test users? A whole lot of other things. And highlighting some of the recent things that didn't go well for the Catalyst DA, that it was not a DA over Christmas. We had to have a Catalyst in front in Season 2. Cricket's loot mint on mainnet. Catalyst given his reimbursement to those who decided to mint loot on high gas. Stupid decision, community backlash rolled back. From my perspective, before going into some of these other ones, Heavy Metal, we were supposed to have the amps for that. Didn't happen. They kept touting this free version of Heavy Metal, and the reason why we'd want to get into it, that didn't seem like it's transpired or come to fruition at least yet. Loot mint canceled, so basically those who minted on high gas minted for free. Anyone else cannot mint until proper solution is implemented. Season 3 starts in a few hours. Still crickets about Kodamaras and friends. It looks like we won't have them based on the latest announcement. Forcing trade on Magic Eden. I have no problem paying royalties, but for this, hell no. Okay, whole bunch of FUD, right? Whole bunch of FUD. And this goes to the point when we clamored before, we want NFTs to do something. The NFTs do something, and if it's not done well and there's all these issues, the scope is potentially too big, too many cooks in the kitchen, now we have this fallout of a bunch of people complaining about things. Fizzy, what's going on, baby? How are you? Right? And so, with these ordinals, I don't think I don't think a single ordinal collection right now is offered any ounce of utility whatsoever. People are like, hell yeah, there's nothing that they can screw up. And it's just funny, the psychological difference between them. This is interesting, coming out of a headline today. Crypto investment firm Grayscale has launched a new fund that stakes cryptocurrencies like Sol, APT, and DOT to earn income. Say Sol, a number of others, crypto and fund mandates are expanding. So again, we have these bigger players coming into the space that are realizing the opportunities at hand, and you can actually beat them to it, which is crazy. You get so disjointed right now. I don't know how they are this bad. And again, like I am not trying to only bring up the negatives with you. If there's stuff that's really exciting, I'll say it. But I mean, for the other side trip, I was kind of critical of that too, being like, okay, this is like the third one. It's a little bit bigger of a landscape. I mean, like they didn't even have like a map for like getting around there. You hit the M key, it didn't do anything. And it was just like kind of like a selfie taker, which is cool. But again, all these people have so much more expectations based on what's going on. Yeah. And the other side demo was okay. But you go on the timeline and everybody's saying it's the greatest thing since sliced bread. And I'm like, okay, listen, we got, we can like things, but I digress. Anyway, if you haven't seen, Bitcoin kind of dipped pretty hard today, to be honest, after it touched, I think it did touch the all-time high. Yeah, 10 a.m. here. So we go up, we touch, and it just absolutely rejects like no other. And it's going down further. We highlighted the other day when this happened. I mean, if we go back on the 7-day chart, we had that blip within the map somewhere. Was it? This might have been right here because it was like within like a minute, right? There was this up and then down and then back up again. Or oh no, it was maybe right here. It was maybe right here. Either way, at the time there was $500 million liquidated, and on today's move, 715 mil liquidated. So we have these two arguments of this time is different, which I agree with. However, it's also different because people are max levered long like never before. The super cycle talk, the amount of money flowing into these ETFs, etc. I think it is different, but we're still going to see some of these flash crashes because people are so overlevered. It's insane. It's insane. But that's going to do it for this edition of XFeed. Again, if you guys like the webcam, if you dislike the webcam, if you like me kind of having it more zoomed in here, please let me know. If you are wanting to support the stream, appreciate Bosch today with the 7-month subscription. Absolute gem on YouTube. If you hit the join button, we do have memberships for $2.99 a month, and it's just kind of a small way to help support the stream, and obviously with the Twitch subscription. So again, appreciate you guys. We'll be back tomorrow as per usual. But damn, the market is picking up. In my Discord yesterday, we were just hanging out in VC. I think we ended up having like almost 20 people show up there. We're seeing people I haven't seen in forever coming back. People are paying attention to the markets. You might not realize it within some of your friend groups, but let me implore to you that it's happening, and it's happening fast. We are